My name is John Michelson. I've lived on Nantucket for 15 years. I came here originally in 1983 to be the managing director of Sherburne Associates for Walter Beinecke. And in 1986, when he sold the company, I stayed on for a short period of time with Winthrop. And then wanting to stay on island after I left Winthrop, I became the director of the community school. At that time there were two departments. There was the community pool and we had the community school adult ed program. And since that time, over the 7 years that I've been there, we've expanded to 9 programs, and now we encompass 2 day camps, all the sports camps that take place around the school, the literacy program, Teachers Institutes, where we bring in nationally renowned teachers to teach our teachers on island. A couple weeks ago at a meeting with Superintendent Alan Myers, he indicated to me that he was going to take the community school in a new direction with the adult ed program, and that at some point in time that I was going to be replaced as the director of the community school. And I have been able to work with Superintendent Myers. I will be able to stay through the end of December and even possibly longer as a consultant. I will be looking for other employment during that period of time. We actually, my wife and I, Meg, we have 5 acres of land. We have a house that sits back in off the road, and we're completely surrounded by wetlands, which is nice. No one is going to build around us. And we always have pheasants and ducks and rabbits and deer and all kinds of things in throughout the wetlands and throughout our yard. It's nice to live near town. You can walk, you can bike, you can drive, depending on what is best and the time of year, of course. And we're close to a bike path so that we can bike out to Matticat if we want to. I have been a part of the Civic League in the Town Association now for about 12 years. I actually started with the Civic League on their board. For a period of time, I was one of the 3 vice presidents for the Civic League. And then the opportunity came up they were looking for someone to be president of the Town Association. In the Town Association, our issues, as are the Civic League, are quality of life issues. And of course, one of our big things down in the town of Nantucket is that we now have terrible congestion during the summer period, and now it's actually gone into the spring and also into the fall. It brings to mind the island of Bermuda. My wife and I were there a couple years ago. They have a super shuttle system which includes ferry boats that go across the harbor rather than going around the harbor to make it a bit quicker. They have 1 car per resident family. There are no cars to rent on the island. Scooters are everywhere. They even have horse-drawn carriages for transportation. People talk about Bermuda and talk about Nantucket kind of in the same light. At some point in time, it would be nice for us to do something similar to that. In order for the town of Nantucket and the island of Nantucket to restrict automobiles, we would have to go to the state legislature and get their approval. And that would be done through town meeting. It would be voted on at town meeting. From town meeting floor, it would go to the legislature for their approval or disapproval. It's not unprecedented here in the United States. Catalina Island has a very similar kind of thing as Bermuda. They restrict the number of vehicles that go to the island. They restrict the number of vehicles that are on the island. And I think it's the same kind of thing if we're going to keep our pristine Nantucket and be able to draw people over the years. I'm afraid we're going to have to do something of a similar nature. The building on Nantucket has really gone crazy again. There was a period from 1988 through 1992 when building was down and sales of homes and so on was down. And it's picked right back up again to what it was in the 80s. And our infrastructure on the island, it's important that we look at that because we've got a sewer system in the downtown that could be close to 80 years old. We have a certain amount of water under the island, drinking water. At some point, the water, all the things that we enjoy here on Nantucket could be a problem. And our infrastructure is going to be important to keep up with it as we grow. Because with more growth, we have to add more and more to we have to build more schools, we have to put in more sewer lines, we have to keep protecting our water quality. I think controlled growth is the key. I think we need to control our growth, and we're doing that now somewhat at town meetings. We're restricting the number of homes that can be built. We're looking at very large businesses coming in, and recently we had the market in the last couple of years that the populace got up and said this is not what we want on Nantucket. One of the keys, I think, is a comprehensive plan. And the comprehensive plan would limit, as I would see it, would limit some of that growth and get it in perspective and let us know as we go through the years where we are as we add more buildings, more people, more housing. I believe that in the next 25 years, what we need to do on Nantucket is really control the growth. We need to look at the number of vehicles we have on island. We need to look at the infrastructure. We need to ensure that we can take care of the people that want to come and vacation on Nantucket. But number one, we have to maintain the quality of life. And the Town Association and the Civic League, that's what they're all about. All the other area associations which make up the Civic League, they have the same exact reason for being.